So how do we create our own reality? Through our thoughts and feelings, like I just discussed. Through how we are currently vibrating, and the universe picks up on thoughts and feelings through the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. So if we go back to that diagram of the iceberg before, both minds are working together to create your reality, which is why it's important to do the work on your subconscious mind, especially if you do have those disempowering beliefs in there. So most of you are probably familiar with the law of attraction. We create our own realities. We need to be aware of that to understand that the people in our lives, our living environment, our job, the money in our bank accounts, this has all been attracted due to our thoughts and feelings. So like energy is attracting like energy. So we don't only attract the things that we do want, but we also attract the things that we don't want, depending on what we're thinking. Law of vibration, so this one's not as common as the law of attraction, but it's equally as important. This one talks more about energy. So I showed you those pictures of the water molecules before. Quantum physics has proven to us that everything in the universe is energy. Everything you see around you has its own vibrational frequency. The chair that we're sitting on, we are energy, our thoughts are energy, which describe, that explains why our thoughts are so important. And in relation to the law of vibration, thoughts and feelings that are healthy, positive, and empowering, they vibrate at a higher level, and thoughts that are negative and disempowering, they vibrate at a lower level. So these can be quite harmful. If you consciously practice thinking thoughts of a higher vibration, then your external environment is going to start to shift to reflect this through the law of attraction. So the law of vibration works in combination with the law of attraction, they're working together. So they're working together in conjunction with the human mind to create our reality. So the human mind, as I mentioned, it's made up of the conscious mind, which has the ability to think freely, make decisions, create new ideas. It's made up of the subconscious mind, which stores all of our information and is actually much more powerful. The subconscious mind is like a giant computer. So it's like a big computer program that stores all of those beliefs and behaviors. And it's running on autopilot 95% of the time. And it's actually much more powerful than the conscious mind. It's a lot bigger, as you remember from the iceberg there. It's got all of those stored beliefs there. A couple more facts on the subconscious mind, which is a little bit concerning, is that we have 50 to 70,000 subconscious thoughts per day, and 80% of those are negative. So this is why it's so important to do the work, guys, because we are programmed in that fear state. This is why we want to shift our consciousness. We have layers of stories, limiting beliefs, fears, and blocks stored in our subconscious mind. And the brain prefers to scan negative experiences. So this is why we need to do the work, because we are programmed in this fear state. So how can we change this? Obviously, this isn't good. We want to be able to shift this. We can. The good news is that we can undo these patterns. So we have these patterns stored in the subconscious mind. We can replace them with more positive, empowering patterns. We can do this by using our conscious mind to reprogram our subconscious mind. So by implementing some daily positive practices into our lives, we can start to shift and raise our energetic vibration. We need to get into the habit of using tools that are going to support more positive and empowering thoughts into your mind. And this will start to attract more positive experiences into your life. So my ebook is based upon the practices that you guys can implement in your own lives. 9 simple steps that you can start doing to start raising your vibration. So I'm going to start going into those 9 steps now. Obviously, if you did want to do the subconscious work and get a little bit deeper into those patterns and self-sabotaging behaviours, that's when working with a coach is really helpful as well. But just on your own, you can implement some daily positive practices to start shifting your vibration and shifting your consciousness. So the first habit to implement is to start paying attention to what you're focusing on a daily basis. What are you thinking? Are you focusing on what's going right, or are you focusing on what's going wrong? Really important thing to do, because the main cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but what we think about it. Going back to perception, like I mentioned earlier. So the first shift in consciousness is becoming aware of your thoughts. I showed you that I spoke about the ego before and the ego behaviors. Once you realize that you are not that negative voice inside your head, you're actually outside of that, that's when you start to really shift and expand your consciousness. So bringing that awareness in so that you can observe your internal dialogue and you can pay attention to that. You're no longer identified with your mind and you're now a witness to your thoughts. That's the first step. Great ways to do this would be perhaps to journal. If you're experiencing a lot of negative thoughts throughout the day, journaling at night is going to help you to really just clear your mind and get those negative thoughts out, and brings your awareness as well to what you're thinking. Rather than being fixated in it, you then become the observer. So that's a really powerful tool. The next step is to practice daily gratitude. So practicing daily gratitude is one of the simplest ways to raise our vibration. A lot of the times we are worrying about what's going wrong and focusing on the negative, but when we start to practice daily gratitude, it just instantly shifts us out of a negative vibration and into a positive one. It is the simplest and fastest way, and should be done daily, whether you've got a gratitude journal and you're writing it down daily, or whether you're saying it out loud to the people that you're grateful for, or the things. Super powerful practice. Number 3, move your body. This is something that I'm super passionate about because I'm also a personal trainer and a yoga teacher. So I work with clients, all the time in a physical sense as well as a mental sense with the coaching. So exercise has so many benefits, not just on a physical level, but on a mental level as well, an emotional level. It gives you those feel-good chemicals, those endorphins, the serotonin, and also on a cellular level, exercise shifts that negative energy that can get stored in our body. So it's super important to have regular exercise as part of your routine. Conscious breathing, number 4. So this is another really important one. This is when we actually bring our awareness to our breath and we're connecting our mind. It's called the mind-body connection. So we're connecting our mind to our body. It helps to take you out of your mind because we're always in our mind. So when we bring that focus to the breath, it gives our mind a little bit of a break. It helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest part of the nervous system, which helps us to calm down and de-stress. So I might actually take everyone through a little exercise here just so we can all do some conscious breathing together. Whether you're sitting or standing, that's okay. If you've got your legs crossed, I'll just get you to uncross them. And we'll just all close our eyes down. We're just going to shift our state here for a couple of minutes. Just for a couple of minutes. So close your eyes. If you're sitting down, pop your hands on your lap, and we're all going to lengthen up through the spine and just relax those muscles of the face. And let's all take some beautiful big breaths together. So we're going to inhale through our nose for 4 counts. Big breath into the belly, all the way down into the belly. Hold it there for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly exhale back out through the nose if you can. Again, inhaling through the nose, big breath all the way down into the belly, filling up the lungs. Let's try and fill up all 3 lobes of the lungs, so right down to the bottom of the lungs, holding it in for 3, 2, 1, and exhaling nice and slow out for about 4 counts. We're going to do that 2 more times, guys. Big breath in, inhaling through the nose, filling up those lungs. Holding it in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly exhaling through the nose. Let's come into our final round together. Big breath in through the nose. Filling up those lungs, breathing down into your belly. Holding it in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly exhaling. When you're ready, just slowly bring your focus back into the room. I hope some of you have noticed a little bit of a shift in your state from that. It's really a great way to just shift your state. Helps you feel more grounded. You might feel a little bit more present now, looking at me, a little bit more in the room, because we've just given that mind a little, just a mini break, but it makes a difference. And it also helps to activate that part of the nervous system that I was talking about. So it's a nervous system response as well. Meditation, another thing that I'm super passionate about. When I first started getting into this work 8 years ago, this was the first thing I started doing before I studied my yoga and my coaching and everything. Meditation was the first thing that I got into that I noticed had a drastic effect on my life. So meditation is similar to conscious breathing. It helps to shut that mind down. We're never going to be able to stop the thinking. A lot of people think that you're not supposed to think when you're meditating. That's pretty much impossible, so don't be hard on yourself when you're meditating. You're still probably going to be thinking when you're meditating, but it's more about becoming the observer of the thought, like I was saying earlier. It basically means that we're not so attached to our thoughts. So instead of being our thoughts, we're observing those thoughts, and we're giving ourselves a little bit of a break from that incessant negative thinking pattern that most of us have going on. Implementing a daily practice will assist in slowing down those negative thought processes, and in turn raises your vibration. Number 6, practicing self-love. This one's super important as well. So many people neglect themselves and put everybody else first before themselves. Practicing loving self-talk is super important because most of us are geared towards that negative thinking, and a lot of the time it's directed at ourselves. I don't know if you remember the slide that I had up earlier with the you full. The molecules were all over the place. That's what it's doing to a cell of water. So if you have negative thinking towards yourself, that's what you're doing to your own body. So we should catch ourselves out when we're doing it, when you're being mean to yourself. Once you've brought that awareness in and you're aware of your thoughts, you're then able to bring the awareness in, and then you should tell yourself something positive instead. So learn to be kind to yourself. That's where practicing affirmations can be really helpful as well. So once you can identify that negative self-talk, then you can find an affirmation that is relevant to whatever you're beating yourself up about. When you use your affirmations, you've got to really believe them. I think a lot of the time people do affirmations, but they say it, but they don't really believe it. It won't work if you do it that way, because when we're speaking out loud, we need to feel the feeling and speak the words at the same time. So to really believe what you're saying, we've got to, if you remember the flow of consciousness, feelings, thoughts, they've got to be in alignment. So when you say your affirmations, you've got to believe your affirmations. Apart from the positive self-talk, there's other simple things that we can do for self-love, just like daily self-care, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, eating nutritious foods. When you eat foods that are high in toxins, this lowers your vibration. So when we're eating clean and we're drinking good quality water, these are all things that we can do to start to shift our vibration and start getting more, helping to raise our consciousness. Also, having balance in your life. So scheduling time for fun, adventure and relaxation is really important to stay balanced and in alignment. So number 7, I've got writing down your goals and connecting to your why. So this one's really important, and I know that this is probably something that a lot of people don't do, because I know when I work with my clients, a lot of them have never set goals before. It's really important to set goals so that we can live a life of intention, because when we're living a life of intention, it means that we're no longer in that victim mode. So when you're consciously creating your life, then you're more empowered because you're creating a life that you want to be living. I have made, on my website, I've got a goal setting guide and also a visualization guide, which you can find on my website if you're interested, because I know that a lot of people don't set goals, and it is really important. When we are setting our goals, it's important that we connect to our why. When we connect to our why, this helps us connect to the feeling. Like I was saying before with the affirmations, you want to be able to connect to the feeling, because then it's more powerful in creating that reality. And then you can open the door to start attracting the people and the circumstances to help you achieve your goals. This is when you start to live a life of conscious intention. So once you start to, set those goals,